A new era for the U.S. bishops as they gather in Baltimore. This year's gathering is the first to occur in a post-Roe nation. At issue, the response to pro-life losses in the wake of last week's election, as well as the obligation to support pregnant women in need. EWTN News Contributor Hadro spoke with Archbishop Lori before his election this afternoon for his take.
Archbishop Lori of Baltimore, chair of the U.S. Bishops' Pro-Life Committee, thanks for your time today. Here we are a few months after the Dobbs Supreme Court decision. How would you describe where we're at in the pro-life movement today?
I think we are at a crossroads. Dobbs was a tremendous victory. It ended the legal fiction that there is a constitutional right to an abortion, but it sent it back to our elected representatives to deal with. And we are finding out just how challenging that is. For example, the state referenda that were held recently. I think it is also a reminder of the tremendous work that needs to be done to evangelize and catechize about the gospel of life, and also to to open minds and hearts to the church's teaching, especially by the love and care we show to mothers who are in need and to their children.
I want to follow up on that. As you mentioned, last week was election week, and we saw multiple abortion ballot initiatives pass. All the pro-life campaigns, unfortunately, failed. Just your reaction to that, and again, how can we change hearts and minds when it comes to those ballot initiatives?
Let me begin with the last question first. I think we have to continually be tilling the soil. Reminding ourselves who preach and those with whom we share the gospel that we belong to one another, that we're united by a common humanity, that inflicting death on others is never the solution to our social problems. I think we have to help people understand the beauty of life, the joy of having children. That's been forgotten in our culture a lot. And so I think we have to continually be tilling the soil of our minds and hearts and planting the seeds of the gospel continually when it's not election time. And so that's number one. Number two, I think that we have to be really willing to bear witness to the value of life in the public forum. We can't wait till everything is perfect. We have to do it now as the questions come up. And a lot of people did a lot of heroic work in those state referenda. But we found that the forces were very, very powerful, and that there was a lot of misinformation that was really hard to counter. But my hat is off to those state Catholic conferences and to those bishops and all their co-workers who tried so very, very hard. If I might add one more thing, is prayer. If we really want to create a culture of life, we have to pray for it. We have to pray about it. We have to pray privately, publicly, and constantly. This is not simply a political matter. This is a matter of a transformation that is possible, not only by reason, but also by faith, not only by our efforts, but by God's grace.
You mentioned earlier on a personal note, I think your mother is almost 103, or she's almost 103 years old. As someone who walks alongside someone who has lived such a life, walking alongside the elderly, what has that taught you in your role as pro-life chair? What does that teach you about the dignity of human life at all stages?
So I've been very blessed to have my mother for such a very long time, and God bless my dear mother. And what I've learned as Mom's gotten older, certain things she always did for all of us so beautifully and generously, she could no longer do. But we always loved her because she did so many beautiful things for us. She got older, she retained all her faculties, and she retains them still to this moment. And she has certainly grown wiser, as we pray we all will do with years. But at the end of the day, I love my mom, not for what she can do for me, but for who she is and the gift that she is from God. And that's how we have to look at one another. Even when it's not a beloved mom, a gift. God gives us to one another as gift.
Our existence is a gift in and of itself. Archbishop William Lori, pro-life chair for the U.S. Bishops, thank you for your time and for your work.